Alright, hey Kiah, this is Miss Cook. Um, Hope you're feeling a little better. We've missed you in class. I know that you're a little stressed out about math, so I thought I'd make you a video to kind of go over everything you missed last week and this week. Might have to break it up into two parts, but I hope this helps. So we're working on quadratics. So this is new stuff. This is everything looks x squared like. So x squared means parabolas. So all of our graphs are called parabolas. The parabolas have vertexes. So a vertex is the highest or lowest point. So in this case, our highest point is at 0, 4. Since it's a highest point, it looks like a mountain. It has a maximum. Okay? So the mountains have maximums. If it looks like a U, that's a minimum. Something else that's important is the axis of symmetry. So that's at the vertex. It's a vertical line that goes through the vertex. And it's always just x equals the x value of the vertex. So in this case, it's x equals 0. Something else that's important is the y-intercept. And in this case, it happens to be the vertex. So the y-intercept would be 0, 4. And then we also talk about solutions. Solutions are the same thing as zeros, which are the same things as x-intercepts. Most parabolas have 2. So in this case, we have 2 x-intercepts. We have one at 2, and we have one at -2. These x values make the equation equal to 0. They're going to come in very handy in probably the next video where we talk about factoring. So I'm going to go through a little bit of the review with you on Edge Elastic right now. And then hopefully after that you can take your quiz, which I have reopened for you. Don't freak out about your grade. I know that you probably are. I just have to count everything as missing or else we'll forget that you didn't do it. Alright, so let's look at problem number 1. So this is the graph I just showed you. What is the y-intercept? So that's right up here. So that's at y equals 4. And we have the maximum point. So whenever it asks for point, it asks for an x-coordinate. So 0, 4. The x-intercepts, I just showed you those. They're right here at -2 and right here at 2. So we have x equals -2 and x equals 2. All right. Now, you can use Desmos whenever you want. It will be on the air test. You can use it on all your tests, quizzes, classwork. So I'm going to put this one straight into Desmos. So -16x squared what was it? Plus 64x plus 80. So you're going to have to zoom out on this one. So it's a really skinny one. So that means that the parabola, it wants to know if it opens up or down. So it's going to open up. Since it's a maximum, that means it's going to open down. Identify the x and y intercepts. Okay, so x-intercept, that explain the meaning of the context. Since this is a word problem, we only want the positive x-intercepts. So we have one at 5. And the y-intercept is the same thing on a normal graph. It's at 80. When the balloon reaches its maximum altitude, at what height is the maximum altitude obtained? So height, that's the y value. Time is always the x, y is the height. So we have 144 feet. Okay, which is the graph of the function? So all of these actually are the same graph, but anytime you graph a parabola, you need to make sure you have straight lines with arrows on the end. So it's going to be D. Label the key features. Okay, so the vertex is the highest or lowest point. Y-intercept is where it goes through the y-axis. Positive solution is where it goes through the x-axis on the positive side. Negative goes through the x-axis on the negative side. Okay, here's another one where I'm going to graph it. X squared plus 4x minus 12. Use Desmos. Okay, it's a great tool. I'm going to go ahead and zoom back in. So it wants to know the x-intercepts. So -6 and 2. -6 and 2. The y-intercepts, that's where it goes through the y-axis. So that's right here at -12. And the minimum value, so that wants the coordinate. We have -2, -16. So I guess it just wants the y, so we have -16. Okay, here you need to read the directions very carefully. So it just wants you to graph it, but it wants let point A be the x-intercept farthest to the left, point B be the max or min, point C be the x-intercept farthest to the right. So let's graph it. 8 minus 2x squared. So I have 1 at -2, 0, so that's going to be my A. I have my max or min, so this one's going to have a max since it's a mountain at 0, 8. And then let C be the x-intercept farthest to the right, so that's at 2. So 2, 0. And that's it. Same thing, -x squared minus 6x. Okay, so on this one, you would do the exact same thing we just did. So I'm not going to go over that one. Draw the line for the axis of symmetry. Okay, I'm going to graph this one. X squared minus 4x minus 12. Okay, so we talked about the axis of symmetry was just the a line that's vertical at the x value of the vertex. So here's our vertex down here. It's a minimum since the parabola is facing up. Its x value is 2, so we're going to make a straight line vertical at x equals 2. So I just move my point anywhere up and down here. So I'm going to make it right here. This is the same thing as just plotting the points. You just need to plot 3 points, the x-intercepts, and the vertex. But you don't have specific points that you need to use for this one. You just use this button 3 times. Okay, this one is which graph represents the function. Again, just plug it into Desmos, see which one looks the exact same. Okay, here it wants to know how would we best describe this graph. So does it have solutions again, or where it crosses the x-axis? We have 2 distinct positive real solutions. Well, positive is on the positive side of the x-axis. We definitely don't have those. We do not have 2 distinct negative solutions either, but we do have 1 positive right here and 1 negative. So it's going to be H. Same thing for this one, it's just plotting points. You only use this one. You don't need to use this. In this one, you just graph this, find 60,000 on the y-axis, and that is going to be your answer. So I believe this one is 200. And then you have this equation. It wants to know what kind of equation it is. Like I told you to begin with, all quadratics have an exponent of 2. This one does. And the graph of the function above will be a decaying curve. So we don't talk about curves right now. It's definitely not a straight line because it's a quadratic. It's definitely that parabola opening up. And then you'll submit it. I hope that helped. If you have any more questions on this stuff, let me know, okay? I'm going to get you another video for factoring.